We're
Okay,
live.
it says we're live, which is all good. I'm just going to wait for that to sign up, and then I'm going to go to a separate
Upcoming.
YouTube link.
It says upcoming.
Hmm. We will get there. Don't have a drink.
Oh, wait. Oh, is this? Hang on. Is this the old one or is this the new one?
I changed the name. It should now be Dutch Grand Prix instead of Zandvoort.
No, that's not come up yet.
There you go. It's redirecting now.
No,
It should be Dutch Grand Prix review, not
Dutch Grand Prix review.
YouTube.
There we go.
Right. So that's up. So I can lose that now.
Although
And if I,
the view needs changing again.
that's fine. I can sort that. Um, right. Okay. And obviously you need to hit record again. Right. Gallery view. Excellent. So if I just go subscriptions, that's gone preview. Right. And if you just bear with me 2 seconds, grab a drink. Right. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry.
Great.
That delay was me, not.
That was just you not speaking
Yeah.
as opposed to not being able to hear. Fantastic.
Hey, there we go. Big Chungus is in.
We've got Tom, even though he couldn't be with us.
Um,
Fantastic. We are there. Right.
oh my God,
After a
that was
few,
painful.
it was.
So we are very painful. Tom is seeing me on 4-3. He's gone old school. I mean, actually, I've been having that debate with lots of people about the film industry about whether we should all do this and go back. Are we doing this now? That's how. Ooh, my drink's gone. Should all be at that angle. Anyway, if you can't see that, that's very boring.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
So, Tom, this is how I was going to suggest that
what?
I was on that I would have done the Grid Talk podcast on Monday. I would have done it like this because I didn't have my tablet. In hindsight, probably not a good idea. So yeah,
Yes,
good idea for
it's
saying
a
no.
point.
Yes, so we're back. We in
Sorry,
lieu
I
of
had to
the
boycott.
fact,
I had to boycott the last race,
why
and
is
then
that?
it would change because George Russell won, and I can't be praising George Russell, so I
But
had to boycott it.
so what we can do is we can do that and that, but then
Yeah.
oh wait, look what actually
Oh,
happened.
oh, smooth operator there.
Nice, because George was disqualified.
Yes.
Um, and then we can forget about that because we only had like 4 weeks off, and like Carlos Sainz signed for Williams and Jack
Oh yeah,
Doohan
we've
signed
got
for
like,
Alpine, and now we've
and
got
then
Franco Colapinto has replaced
who is this
Logan
lad?
Sargent.
Who is this lad?
F2. He's doing pretty well in F2 actually. I would bring up the standings, but I don't have my computer, so I
Okay.
can't do that. So
Okay, but I
we have this
can
really
because I have technical
we have
whiz
this
to do.
elaborate setup this week. So we had no
Oh.
title music because Carl doesn't have the title music, and Carl is recording and editing this one, and I'm
Am
on
I
my phone
recording?
and my
I'm
tablet.
not recording.
Oh, okay, let's go back.
Recording in progress, everyone.
Right, let's start
Hi.
again. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Oh my God.
So,
Oh, I just went over my toe.
right,
Ah,
this particular
fucking
horrendous start to
hell.
the podcast is
Oh, fucking hell.
basically I do not
That
have my
hurts.
computer, so I am on my phone because that works with my headset and also on my tablet streaming to YouTube because you can't stream from your phone, but you can stream from the tablet. So I've got this kind of elaborate tiny screen setup. I'm on my old headset that was used in
Yeah, you've
season
gone
one of
back to the
Monkey Seat.
80s.
Yeah, this is what I used in season one. So it's apologies if my sound is still be better than it was a few weeks ago when
Do
I
you know
just
what? It
forgot
doesn't
to
sound
plug in
too
my
bad.
microphone. Yeah, I mean, this is what we did the first like 30 episodes of the podcast on, so it's all right.
Yeah, but that's
Um,
fine.
and yeah, and we've got Big Chungus Tom Downey in the chat as well. Hello, Tom. Sorry, we wanted you on this
Um,
podcast, but I forgot to
he's
ask you.
he's in a hotel room shitting.
He's in the hotel room. Yeah, he's in his bathroom. So
That's what he said. So I'm
yeah,
just
we haven't
relaying what's in the
podcast.
public domain.
Yeah, we haven't podcast for a little while. Carl was unable to podcast last time,
No,
and
I just
then
boycotted Boy George.
yeah, as I did this on the previous attempt to record, because we've had two races, I'm holding up the two beer mats for George Russell and Lando Norris, but then because Russell was disqualified, it turns around to become Lewis Hamilton.
I know, which
So
then mean that I should have done a podcast because he was disqualified, but
exactly.
by the time I decided I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, there was no
I
point
really
doing
was
a
too busy.
podcast. There's no point doing a podcast 3 weeks after the fact. So, once again, I am toasting the podcast with a nice, cool Italian beer because we are approaching the
That's
Italian Grand
Spanish, isn't
Prix.
it?
Oh, maybe it is. No, it's Italian, is it? Moretti, is that Spanish or Italian? I thought it was Italian. No, the Italian passion for brewing.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, it's Italian. I thought
Oh
it
no,
was.
I'm thinking of Madras or something. The Madrid one that they always played ads for.
Yeah, there is a couple of Spanish beers, isn't
Yeah.
there? But no, this
Yeah.
is Moretti is definitely Italian.
Yeah.
So, Zandvoort, Lando Norris, the first time I actually saw Lando Norris win a Grand Prix live. I know there's only been two of them.
Yes.
But the last time it was I arrived home as the race finished and then found out the result before I saw it. Tom. And my sister. So yeah, actually seeing it happen live, but it wasn't really like it was quite a straightforward race in the end, really.
Right.
Once he got
I
into the
am
lead,
getting annoyed by fucking Lando
here we go.
Norris. I
Oi,
am so fucking
Why?
annoyed by him because the fucking bellend cannot fucking start a fucking fire. He can't start anything. He's the shittest starter I have ever fucking seen. Like literally, what is his issue? Put your foot on correctly at the rev limiter and go. It's not
So-
fucking rocket science, but seemingly it is for him, but not for the rest of the grid.
And everyone on that side of the grid. Everyone on that side of the grid got off to a slow start.
Yeah, because
If you-
Lando wasn't going anywhere, so no one could
No,
move.
but if you look at it, every single person who started in the odd number position got the same kind of start.
Yeah, but but
and
hang on, Tom. This is not the first time. Let's be
No,
honest.
it isn't.
And
It
it's,
isn't.
It's getting to the point where I
But-
literally go, "Oh, he's on pole. Oh well, he's going to end up in second on the first
Red
one."
Bull have the best starting procedure of any team, and and McLaren clearly don't have the best, but they have done good starts this year, just not necessarily from
No,
the front.
sorry. McLaren have done good starts.
Yeah,
Just not Lando.
Lando has done good starts this year, just not from pole. Just not from pole. Look at his other races. I'm not going to pull them up.
Starts.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to
Sorry.
pull them.
Okay, his reaction time. Hang on. What was interesting was his reaction time was the same as Max's, but his 0 to 120 or whatever was about.
It's always the
a
second phase.
later. Yeah.
It's always the second phase. That's what it is. The initial launch off the line is good, and then the second phase, he tends to get in trouble. But as I said, everyone on that side of the grid
Is
had
he
an
just
issue.
trying to get into gear or the sequentialness of the gears or something?
Well, that's what I mean. The Red Bull launch control is obviously insane, and McLaren's is good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. But when you're starting alongside Max Verstappen, he's gonna get alongside you no matter what. You see it all the time. How many times have we seen Max take the lead at turn one in the last few years? Red Bull have always been really mega at starts. McLaren just aren't quite at that point yet. So yes, there is definitely something in there which is causing Lando to make these errors, because not always it's him, because he did start alongside his teammate and got overtaken by him. So it's in Hungary. So, and that's what eventually lost him that race. So there is obviously something in there, but I don't think it's every single time. This start,
It is just getting boring though. It
is
Lando
annoying.
gets
Oh yeah, don't
pole,
get me wrong.
and then he just.
I was really pissed off because straight away I said, "Oh God, he's done it again." I was annoyed, but then once I analysed the start a bit more, I was like, "Oh, actually, no, this one's not on him. I don't think." So I'm not as annoyed as I have been on previous time, but yeah, it's still frustrating because the guy you're cheering to win a race, and then he ends up just losing the position that he's fought so hard for.
It's the frustration of a fan as opposed to me just taking the piss.
And to be
out of George
fair,
Russell.
like completely on him in Spa. He got a decent start and then put it in a gravel and ended
Yeah,
up losing 4 positions. So that was
yeah,
on him. So
yeah.
yeah, there's definitely something that he needs to work on there. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of doubt this
Oh,
week.
Tom's saying that the cars don't have launch control.
No, no. When I said the launch control, I didn't mean launch control. So I meant
As
the
in the
control.
control
I
of the
meant the
launch.
controlled launch. I know they don't have launch control, Tom. This isn't
I didn't,
1994.
so there we go.
No, all I meant is it's the control in which they launch the car, not the launch control system. So yes, no. If taken on board. Yes, we know Moretti is Italian, Tom. We've already covered that.
Yeah, and I
You're
didn't
just
even really
talk.
dispute
You're just spitting facts from the past at the moment, Tom. Go back
it.
to your toilet.
Um, anyway, so that's really
Oh, I've
annoying.
missed
But
this. I've missed this.
what?
Having to be so professional on Grid Talk, and I've can
No,
actually
you
come here.
just you
Titty
just
wank, fuck shit. Ah,
anyway. Um,
so much better.
anyway, no, we're not supposed to know this. You've come to Monkeyseat, Tom. You've not come to Grid Talk where you are meant to know this shit. You've come to Monkeyseat where we don't have a clue. Well, I don't have a clue. So
I'm sorry, Tom. I never said the launch control clipped. I never said that. You're
no.
mishearing things. No, no, you're wrong. You're
We
wrong.
can
I
play
didn't
it
say
back.
that.
We can play it back.
You'll play it
There we
back. If I
go.
said something that sounded like that, then I apologize, but I definitely didn't say that.
No,
I'm
I
well
think
aware that
you
launch
just said
control.
you said launch control was just shit, and that's
Mhm.
what came out as shit.
Maybe.
Anyway,
It's possible.
um, so it is great that Lando eventually won the race
Hmm.
and did it quite easily, let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
That's a
drew
counter.
out a fucking 22-second lead. Um,
He did. He did. I don't think that is McLaren's like every week pace.
default. Yeah, it's
I
not
think this is
default place.
I think this is very much this is a so I've just seen some small comments. Wind it back. Yeah. This is more just worst case scenario for Red Bull, best case scenario for McLaren. So
Yeah,
I don't think this is going to be the norm. I think now with the upgrades, McLaren do have the best overall package now.
yeah.
I would say that they had the most compliant car up until now since Miami, but
Mhm.
now they do have the best overall package.
Yeah,
And it's just about what they do with it between now and the end of the season. So I'm not saying there's a championship fight on, but
yeah,
if in Singapore, Max is nowhere out of the points, and there's a one little crash somewhere along the
mhm.
way where he ends up in, just dropping it in the gravel by mistake and then loses another race that way. All of a sudden, the championship's on. Now I know that's two
Yeah.
races you've got to take away from McLaren, and Lando Norris is not going to win every race between now and the end of the season, but there's a chance. There is a small chance there might be a championship fight on. I'm not counting on it, but we can
I
only
think
hope.
there's definitely a championship fight. I don't think there is a
Oh,
constructors
constructors. Oh,
championship
constructors. Yeah,
fight.
that's down to 30 points now. That's
I think that's a huge, but I don't think there's a drivers really, unless Max bins it 2 or 3 races and Lando wins it 2 or 3 races. I don't think
mm.
there's 70 something points in that, which let's be honest, they're getting one
Yeah.
twos fighting
Oh yeah,
between
it's
the
30
two.
it's 30 and 70. So
Yeah.
McLaren needs to be getting 1-2s and Perez
Yeah,
does seem
like
to be
the 30
does
is
seem
quite
to be
easy.
yeah. McLaren do seem to be sorry, Perez does seem to be slightly better now. So he seems to be doing a bit more for the team. Still not enough, but his 8 points he scored on Sunday, that stemmed the flow. That's because you look at Piastri, what he's scoring for the team. Perez needs to match what Piastri's scoring, then just leave Lando
Yeah.
and Verstappen to fight it out. And then the constructors championship should take care of itself, but he's not doing that. And
I
also,
mean, sorry, he got 1 point off his average. One
yeah, he was
position
one
of his
position higher,
average.
but also he would have finished behind Hamilton and Russell had Hamilton had a decent qualifying and
Yeah.
Russell didn't have massive tire deg in the final sector, in the
Yeah.
final stint. So, I mean, I know like it's all ifs and everything, but
I mean,
um,
he was still 39 seconds behind Norris and 17 seconds
but
behind
as
Verstappen.
well, I
17
didn't
seconds
realize.
behind the car that's not performing. Yeah, anyway.
I didn't realize this until I heard it on what podcast was it? I heard? I think it was the race. I heard this on this morning. Um, the apparently Perez was running a different floor to Verstappen. Verstappen was running an older floor. They were trying some things, and they were trying the floor from
Meh.
Bahrain from the start of the
Yeah,
season. So Perez actually had the more up to date setup,
yeah.
and Verstappen had the old setup on. I think that they were just trying something, and so if Perez was still that far off with
But
what is
why were they
essentially a
trying
better
that?
car,
Yeah.
I think they're just a bit lost at the moment. The the car isn't in the sweet spot. McLaren have found this sweet spot. They haven't brought an upgrade to that car since Miami. They've only
Mhm.
brought track specific stuff that was already existed and was in the pool. It just
Yeah,
hadn't been used before. But
yeah,
they haven't brought a performance update to the car since Miami because they're afraid of doing what Ferrari did, which is put a new floor in the car and it goes slower.
yeah,
So they're only bringing stuff to the car when they know it's definitely going to make the car better.
yeah,
And Red Bull have found themselves the second best car, and now they're scrambling and they're trying to figure out what's wrong and how they can get back into that sweet spot because they brought updates, but they haven't
yeah,
worked, and they've taken the car out of that sweet spot. It's so crucial this rule set.
yeah.
And just responding to what Tom's saying about Monza Red Bull are really fast in a straight line. Yes, they are. But McLaren's new rear wing is the DRS system on that is now equal to Red Bull's. They weren't losing anything in DRS. No, DRS is DRS. They're always in DRS, but
Yeah, but they still
um,
couldn't take over Ferrari, so go and work that
yeah,
one out.
um, yeah, I've got an opinion on that from Piastri, but we can get. Do you want to go to that now?
Go on then.
Well,
There's only so long about Lando and Max.
yeah, who is it? It was Ruth Buscombe on F1 TV. That I definitely wasn't watching illegally. Was showing this graph about the tire usage of the drivers. Really interesting graphic, and it showed the lap times that people were doing. And when Piastri came in after his pit stop, you saw the line where it went to twice as steep as anyone else. So he was putting in really fast lap times. Then he got up to Leclerc, and it just completely flatlined. So
Mhm.
it just showed that he wasn't managing his tires there. What he should have been doing there was coming out of the pits. I didn't take my wedding ring off there. You didn't see that. He came out of the pits
I do it.
and then he went hell for leather.
Yeah.
And then by the time he got to Leclerc, he'd taken the best out of the tires. He didn't have a big enough tire offset to then pass him. I just feel like
But he had an 8 lap tire offset, didn't he? 8, 9
he had
lap
a
tire offset.
big, I can't remember exactly. I haven't
Yeah,
got my
8 and 9
screens
tire
open, so
lap.
I
Yeah.
can't say for sure, but he had a big tire offset. He breezed past Russell. He didn't lose any tire life fighting Russell. And then by the time he got to Leclerc, he burnt the tires out. He had so much time. I think he was thinking he could still catch Verstappen. And
Well, I
on
think
those lap
we all
times he
thought
was
it was,
putting
and I
in,
think he thought he just needed to get past Leclerc and just fucking get past him, and then Leclerc wouldn't be an issue.
yeah, but he didn't have the
And he
maturity on in
underestimated.
that. He
Yeah,
didn't have the maturity on that. And as a result, he burnt his tires out too quickly. We've seen it happen loads of times. It's a
yeah.
really hard thing to do. So I think that's what he's done. He's burnt his tires out too soon, got up behind Leclerc, then he can't pass him, and that's gifted Ferrari a podium. So
Mm.
Ferrari, with the third fastest
I
car,
mean, he
have
might
got a
have
third
gifted him
place.
a podium, but it wasn't undeserved,
Oh
you know.
no,
And
Leclerc was my driver of the day.
yeah,
Leclerc was absolutely my driver of the day. He bossed that strategy. He had a really good first stint, and then he
yeah,
made the second stint work.
yeah,
Hamilton as well had a phenomenal first stint on those soft tires. Really,
yeah,
really good soft tire stint, and then he had a flat spot and he had a gap, so you may as well pit, try something different because he was never going to move forwards.
yeah.
But then Russell couldn't make the one stop work, so he came in for softs, lost track position, couldn't close in. And then in the end,
Mm.
Hamilton on what, like 10 lap older soft tyres was catching him. And obviously, teammates, they're not going to pass, they're not going to catch and pass anyone else. Why fight? So Hamilton just sat behind him. There's no point fighting him at that point. They're running line and stern. It's the same number of points for the team. Hamilton had the fastest lap at that point, but then Norris took it off him on the last lap. So I think he'll be a bit annoyed about that because he probably could have gone again, but his team told him it was safe. So um, but yeah, that was a really odd one for Mercedes. Like just no pace on that hard tire, really. So
Yeah.
that's why that worked for Lewis doing the two stints on the soft.
I've just realised my title page, my background has the old Twitter logo,
Yeah.
and it also has a web address that doesn't exist anymore.
It does. Yeah, the website no longer exists.
We just gave up with it. It's
Yeah,
pointless.
never used it. Was paying for something that was never being used, so got rid of it. So we're still on
So
the
yeah,
we're still on
I
the
might
socials,
just
but we're not. Monkeyseat Pod no longer exists.
there we go. Sorry. Uh oh, what's going on here? Don't know how to
What is
press
going on here?
buttons. Um anyway, in other news,
Oh, the Manscaped one. That's a
I'm just gonna go and blur. Don't have any. There we go. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go by the beach. There we go. You can
I
all have enjoy me by the beach. There you
ah, there
go.
we go.
There
I
you
don't
go.
think
You can all join me by the
can I
beach.
even do background images for
Probably
these? I don't
not.
know.
It's
I've
only
never.
because right. So currently I am in Box City behind me. This is
Oh,
just
you really?
I'm literally in a box room. Although it's quite a big box room, but it's full of boxes. So it just no one wants to see my bed in bits. There you go. You're in space and I'm by the
There we
beach.
go.
So where would you rather be? Although I went to the beach this week, it was lovely.
Oh,
In other news, so Logan Sargent, let's go back onto
he's
that
gone.
story.
Yeah, I
He
mean
has I
that was a
yeah,
mammoth crash though.
yeah, but it's just fucking driver error every
Yeah.
fucking time.
Oh, he's had. I think Williams have been more than fair.
Yeah.
Williams gave him a lifeline. They gave him an F2
Multiple,
drive. They gave him an F2
multiple.
drive when his single seater career was he'd run out of money. He was looking for like a WEX drive or something. He was just looking for something out of single seaters because he had no money left and
Mhm.
um and he had no drive. Williams signed him up, put him in F2, gave him 2 seasons in F2, and then gave him a Formula One lifeline. And he's had a season and over a half. He's had
Yeah,
what 11 races this year.
yeah,
No, more than 11. He's had what was it 9 races left. So he's had 15 races.
yeah.
Well, technically 14 because he didn't have
14.
Australia.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he's had enough time and he's just not been able to do it. He's not done the business.
And the
So
irony that he's now going to miss Kota and Las Vegas.
yeah, yeah,
Here
they
the
were.
two American ones.
Yeah, Williams were talking to Red Bull and Mercedes, trying to get either Mick Schumacher or Liam Lawson across.
What,
Liam
Mick
Lawson,
Schumacher? We going back. Oh no, Mick didn't. Mick never drove for Williams, did he? He drove for
no,
Haas.
no,
Sorry,
has.
that's right.
So they were looking at those two options because originally they wanted Antonelli, but Mercedes decided it wouldn't be fair to put Antonelli alongside Albon in an uncompetitive car, and then it'd be too much of a baptism of fire. They'd rather prepare him themselves for
Mhm.
Mercedes. They offered him then Mick Schumacher, but then you're replacing a guy who crashes with a guy who crashes. So Mick Schumacher was never really an option. They wanted Lawson, but Red Bull said you can have Lawson, but we want him back at a moment's notice if we decide to drop a driver, and
Yeah,
that wasn't really going to fly
it's too
with
risky at the
them.
moment with
Yeah.
Sergio and everything else
So
going.
the only other option would have been Nick De
But which
Vries.
is
They
interesting.
know
Hang
him
on, so
well.
that's quite interesting. Is there an undertone there of we are thinking of swapping early
What Red
from
Bull?
Red Bull? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when they at the start of the summer break, they put out a thing saying that Perez will be returning after the summer break. They didn't say he
Mhm.
was safe till the end of the season. They said
Mhm.
we're looking forward to him performing well at the tracks that he always performs well at, and then listed the next 4 races.
Okay.
So the rumor is he's got 4 races to prove that he can do
And does
this.
one of
So
those include Mexico?
no,
Wow.
Mexico's further down.
Wow.
Um, I think he'll be in the car till the end of the season. I, I think he will. Because Red Bull haven't really got another option unless they're going to put Lawson in. I don't think they'll put Ricardo in.
Mhm.
If they are going to put someone in, I think it'll be Ricardo, but I just don't think they'll put Ricardo in.
Yeah.
So therefore, they'll stick with Perez, especially if he starts getting
Why are they
more
putting
sixth
Ricardo in
places.
and not putting Snowder, who
They
seemingly is
they
outracing
don't
him?
like Sonoda because Red Bull are notorious massive racists.
Yeah.
And you can quote me on that. No, you can't. That was a joke. They're not
Although
massive
Snowder,
racists.
Ricardo actually did better this time than Snowder.
Yeah, but that was down to a really terrible strategy, as always,
Mhm.
from RB
RB.
V Carb, whatever they're called this week. But Ricardo is generally doing better than Sonoda. More than half the time now. He is performing
Mhm.
on the same level as Sonoda, but it's just a shame that the car is now pants.
Yeah.
So he's not getting the points that Sonoda was getting at the start of the season. So it's dropped off.
Talking about pants. So we now have Hollyoaks
Hollyoaks,
as the team captain.
Michael Oakes, Oliver
No,
Oakes, Oliver Oakes,
Hollyoaks. Hollyoaks.
Oakes.
Hollyoaks.
Oaks, in it. I'm watching
Hollyoaks.
Oaks.
Hollyoaks.
Shut on your
Hollyoaks.
shoes, Governor.
Yeah.
Ribbit
Hollyoaks.
me.
You know, Hollyoaks, that shit Channel 4 program.
Oh my God.
Soap. Yeah. So we've got the soap now leading, and he was in with High Tech, but friends with, well, he worked alongside our lovely friend
Dimitri Mazepin.
Yes. So I think he's a bit of a slimy young git, and especially he's 32, and that's really depressed me.
Well, he's got a lot of experience for someone that age.
I can care less how much experience well, yeah, but he's got experience level being a slimy git. So yeah, it makes perfect sense that he's an Alpine.
To be fair to him, like he founded the high tech organization that weren't always supported by Uralkali. They've come on board in the last sort of 5 seasons, but he founded that team and he's managed that team and he's done a great job of it. They've just got a questionable sponsor, or they had a questionable sponsor. So I mean, it's possible. They've already announced doing that.
No, it wasn't
so
a sponsorship. He actually owned part of High Tech. He founded.
Yeah, he founded it and owned the team. Yeah, I know that. But
Dimitri owned the team.
Yeah, he probably bought into it. So
no, he bought the team and then they sponsored it. And then when the whole Russian-Ukraine war thing happened,
special operation.
He gave, well, if you read it, it's hilarious, the business side of it. He surrendered all his shares to Hollyoaks. I can't not say his name without thinking of Hollyoaks. Hollyoaks. And so he surrendered. Yeah, no one's surrendering their shares in that team when they're either worth nothing, and thus he moved them over, which, let's be honest, in F2 it might be they're worth nothing, but I very much doubt it. Or there is a backdoor payment that's going on, because funny enough, he's not being chased like a certain Haas has this weekend.
Yes.
Being chased and being bombarded and being, what's it called? Not bombarded. That's one word. They've had the bouncers around.
Yeah, it was all, they were impounded.
Yes, impounded. That's the word. Could not think of the word there. They were impounded and they had the bailiffs around. I mean, it does feel like an episode of Hollyoaks.
Hollyoaks
with the old bailiffs turning up. The bailiffs turning up to get my gear from the Russians. From the Russians, mate. I don't know why Hollyoaks. They're all Liverpool, aren't they? They speak like this. They're all northern from Manchester somewhere. Anyway,
I don't know. I never watched the program, so I couldn't tell you.
But anyway, Hollyoaks. So yeah, it feels like an episode of Hollyoaks because they're now playing around. So they got stopped. They've now been released, which is grand.
They paid the fine. Or
did they pay the fine? Well, they gave the car away. I know that much. And they gave them the
2021 car.
Yeah, and they then surrendered the car and then gave the money into a third party account. Oh yeah, here we go.
Who wants a 2021 Haas car? It was the worst car in Formula One history, pretty much. Well, certainly in the turbo hybrid era, it was awful. It was a terrible car.
Is there any tech on it that you could relearn from? Or to be honest, I think.
Sorry, I realize this is a podcast and I'm there shrugging. So sorry.
I think there is a slight issue. I think the thing is, it was a pride thing, and it was I'm going to get you for everything. And now you haven't got that car to donate, share, spend.
Well, Jenson Button had it in his contract with
Brawn.
It was, if you win the world championship, you get you get the world championship winning chassis car was in
Yeah,
his contract, and he never got it. And then he he ended up taking Mercedes to court because obviously Mercedes Brawn then became Mercedes. He ended
yeah,
up taking Mercedes to court to get his Brawn GP car, and he got it in the end.
yeah, yeah.
He's just like, I don't know what to do with it. I can never drive it anywhere. I haven't got the
No.
software to start it up, so it's just sitting somewhere. But he got it.
Well, that's the thing. I think that one I can understand. There's a pride to that, but I suppose
Oh
it's
yeah.
in the same way. There's a pride to he was an F1 driver, whether you know whatever way that happened, but he was an F1 driver. So what? Oh yeah, I've talking about Button, and this is slightly off topic. I've been listening to. I've been falling asleep to Lovely Bernie.
Lovely Bernie.
Bernie, can't think of her surname.
Oh, Collins.
Bernie Collins,
Okay, why have you been
with
falling asleep to her?
because she's got a new audiobook out.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, it's really good. It's
Okay.
really
Is
good.
it really good? And like everyone says, the Gunter Steiner book is really good, when actually it was fucking terrible.
Uh, I'm only 4 chapters in, and she sort of speeds through how she got into Formula One within the first 2 chapters. And then now she's talking where I am now, she's talking about the management side and everything else.
Well, I've got about 5 Audible credits going at the moment, so
Yeah.
I could download
And
them.
then my next one's going to be that book that George was touting, um, which was can't think of what it's called.
I
Um,
really want, like, because I'm not a big reader. I don't read books very
no,
often. I just firstly I don't get the time to read books, and
no,
secondly,
I
like
don't really read.
I have a lot of
I should.
time to myself when I'm wandering around at work, and I can have headphones in and listen to audiobooks. I can get through a novel in about 3 days.
Yeah,
So or probably a week, probably for a novel, but for like an autobiography, I can
yeah,
get through in a day, two
probably.
days.
Yeah,
So I can really digest a lot of info
yeah.
um, on that
So
that
yeah, and
side of
then
things. So
the
I love
formula.
audiobooks, but I've never read it, obviously, because I don't really read books. It's not available on audiobook. I really want David Coulthard's autobiography because it's the most perfectly named autobiography in the world. It just totally encapsulates David Coulthard's career. David Coulthard, it is what it is.
Really.
Yeah. I really want, because I started to listen to a second book, which was all about business and stuff, which I know
Yeah,
I
which
think
I've
you've listened to
listened to
that.
that one.
Yeah, I listened to about half it. I couldn't finish it because I
Yeah,
just couldn't be bothered. But I wanted his autobiography, like all talking about all his time at McLaren and stuff.
yeah. I've never read
But
that one. But
yeah, it
yeah, and
is
then
what it
there's
is. That's just perfect for
yeah.
David Coulthard because that just sums him up.
But yeah, I listen to a lot of audiobooks falling asleep. So I've been listening to the sort of Northern Irish tones of Bernie falling asleep and chillaxing. So it's been quite
Yeah,
nice.
F1 TV have
Now,
got Ruth Buscombe now. The
who's she?
she was ex. I think she was Ferrari at one point, but then she went to Sauber, and I don't think she's there anymore. But she's just got married because she's changed. She's now like Buscombe something else. She's hyphenated. Um, but yeah, I quite like her, and I love Sam Collins on F1 TV. He's a really good analyst, technical analyst. So
Buxom.
I like getting that side of things from F1 TV. So I don't miss Sky.
Ruth Buxom.
Buscombe, not Buxom. I mean, no, she's not Buxom. She's Buscombe. Yeah,
Busk. Cam.
Buscombe,
Who?
Buscombe,
Busk.
Buscombe. As in, get on a bus.
B-U-S.
So if I were to say to you, bus, bass, or bass, Carl,
Right, I've got bus. What's coon? As in,
Coombe, as in Castle Coombe, Coombe Martin.
oh yeah, British engineer. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Live googling on the podcast. This is
Yeah, because
great
I have
quality.
no idea who she is. I don't know her.
Yeah, I knew of her before she was on F1 TV. I knew she was a
Oh,
technical.
I
She was
recognize her. Yeah,
same role as Bernie. She was like a
she was
strategist.
an alpha for a while.
Yeah, Sauber.
Yeah.
Sure saw she was at Ferrari. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yes.
There was a lot of people going
Yeah.
from Ferrari to Sauber at the time. Anyway,
Yes.
should we continue talking about the Dutch Grand Prix?
Sorry. Yeah, go on then. So Ferrari, they're doing well, surprisingly. I think even they were shocked.
They were. That's the problem. They're shocked. They don't know why they were fast. That's the
Such a
worrying thing.
backwards. And then what
Yeah.
was it that Sign said? Is we now have a new problem. We're good on Sundays, but shit on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And like, is there? I was like, well, and Bernie, I'd go back to Bernie, but she was like, that was the right way round to have it. You'd rather be
Mm.
good on Sunday than Saturday. But
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, like, why do they keep having the problems? Like,
Yeah, I mean, Science had a really good start of the race as well. I think both road drivers had good races. He did the first stint well to get into a position and then managed to hold on. He finished ahead of Perez, I believe. I haven't got the in front
he
of me, but
did.
I think
Yeah,
he
Perez was
finished ahead of
sixth.
Perez.
So Sainz
So,
ended up in fifth behind Oscar.
and where did Science start? Like 13th or 12th or something? Oh, maybe he started 10th because of the disqualifications,
Yeah.
but still, he still didn't start very high up. Perez definitely
Yeah.
started ahead of him.
Yeah.
And then you've got, he finished ahead of Russell and Hamilton when on a normal day he wouldn't have done. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
still not
it's,
amazing from Perez.
yeah, it really isn't. And it's sort of just like, um, it is mad, like, um, how, how Ferrari, who don't know how their car is doing well, it's doing better than your fucking Egypt that is,
Yeah.
that is Paris. Sorry, my thing's gone twitchy. And it's just getting rubbish. It's just like, why are we bothering? Do you know what I mean? Why are they bothering with?
I'm so surprised that Red Bull, who are notoriously very tough on drivers, like they axed Gasly for a lot less than what Perez has
Sorry,
got
so
away with.
Carlos Sainz was 10th behind Gasly, Stroll, Alonso,
Mm.
and Charlie Boy was 6th
Yeah.
behind Sergio Perez, George Russell, and Oscar Piastri.
Yeah. So they both gained 3 positions in the race.
Yeah. So that's an amazing jump up from what they should have been.
I mean, Hamilton
And
was 12th and then he ended up 8th, didn't he? So he made 4 places. Russell went backwards.
Hamilton started.
He was supposed to start
He
back in
started
15th.
14th. Started in 14th.
Did
That's
he start
starting.
14th or was that where he qualified?
He started 14th. Starting grid was he was 14th.
Okay, I thought he started further back than that because he was 11th. Then he got a 5 place grid drop, didn't he? And then Albon was disqualified, and then Magnussen started from the pits.
Yeah, sorry. This whole album thing. We'll go
Yeah,
on. Well, okay, let's go on
a
with
third of a
Williams.
millimeter.
I mean, seriously?
They literally disqualified him for
Like,
qualifying, and
why?
and do you know how they fixed it? They basically
They,
went, "Oh, that's illegal. Hang on, right, that's fixed now. That's literally a bit of sandpaper on the side of the car, and they fixed it in a couple of seconds. But rules is rules. It
I
was
understand rules is rules,
the
but
measurement was exact,
Jesus.
and it was outside of the minimum, so therefore it's a
Yeah,
disqualification. And we've seen this. We saw it with Russell. We saw it with Hamilton and Leclerc last year. It's these fine margins. If you're going to run it right to the limit is the limit. If you're not going to put
yeah,
any tolerance in there, then I'm sorry, you're risking disqualification.
yeah.
And they did, and they would have had both cars disqualified had the other car not been in pieces.
Yeah, they can measure it, can they?
Yeah, we'll
So,
measure it, but oh, it's 7 inches inside the tolerance because half the floor's missing.
or it's 3 miles down the road, so we
Yeah,
can't measure the width. It's
no.
either three
Let's
miles
make
wide or not enough.
let's
Yeah,
measure the width. Let's measure the width of the tires. Well, one of the tires at turn 4.
passing down the road. Um, but it's and like Williams just had a shit. I mean, to be
Oh,
fair, he got from 19th to where did he end up?
he tried for a long one stopper, didn't he? And then trying to keep everyone behind him, a typical
Yeah,
Alex Albon
I mean,
strategy, but it didn't
Alex
quite
did.
work.
I mean, he got up to 14th. So from 19th to 14th, he actually did the biggest jump.
He was in the points, but he was just falling back. But
Yeah.
the thing is, he
Oh my
started.
God, that point that was he involved in the one where there was like a 4 place takeover of Hulkenberg of
He was involved in that.
Magnussen.
Yeah, he
That
was
was just
involved in
mad.
that. But yeah, he was also on the back foot there. But
Yeah.
as well, you've got. I know we didn't really have any. Did we? We didn't have any retirements in that race, did we?
No,
No.
no.
Not even a yellow flag. But when you've
Everyone
got
crossed
the
the line.
Saubers,
And
when
yet
you've got the
weirdly,
Saubers,
Sargent still ended up 16th. ahead of
Yeah, but you got
Tsunoda, Magnussen,
yeah.
Bottas, and Zhou.
So you got Magnussen doing a stupidly long stint as a stupid strategy. You got the Saubers being the Saubers that were just nowhere. And then
What
you've
is the
got
point? Like,
Matt
it's
say
just
you
madness.
so gaining half of those positions that Albon did was, and Sargent for that matter, was down to other people being stupid and rubbish. And Sonoda's strategy was awful as well. It's like, let's two stop the guy, but let's just put him in traffic the whole time. Yeah, well done. No, that's not how you make the two stop work. You make the two stop work by giving him a clear air. That's the point of it.
And yet,
So
weirdly, his teammate ended up in 11th, just outside the points. And
yeah,
I was gutted that he didn't get points there. So I bet
he wasn't even on my
Haas,
radar.
I bet Haas are gutted that Nico is going. But
Yeah, yeah.
glad that, um, but glad that, what's his name's?
I mean, he signed for Haas, and then they realised that they were onto a winner with him, and they offered him a new contract, and he took it, and then suddenly realised that actually this team's rubbish, and I'm getting a lot of interest from other teams, and now like he had the opportunity to sign for Sauber
I mean,
and sign for other other
but
teams as
he
well.
did. To be fair on Haas, they were his saving grace.
They were, but he was never going to stay with them.
No, but he
It was
was
just to get
never.
back through the door. If he could prove
Yeah,
that he was still quick,
yeah,
he was a guy that he was like Piastri levels of hype. He was
yeah,
the kind of guy that people were saying he was going to be multiple world champion. It just never came off.
yeah.
But
But I
he
think
may
he's
well end
doing.
up getting a
He's
podium
some.
at some point. You never
I
know.
think he's doing well. I don't think he's going to get it
Oh,
in
he's
the
doing
Haas.
fantastic. No, no, no. Haas will never get a
Um,
podium. There's a bet.
but
Haas will never get a podium in their life.
they'll be sold by the time they get a podium. What's
Mhm.
the? Who's he going to? I can't remember.
Sauber. So
Sauber.
Audi. It'll be Sauber
Okay,
next year.
hang on.
Sauber
Yeah, so
next
hang
year.
on. So he's now going back. He's going to 19th and 20th with no guarantee that Audi are actually going to be any better.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, he's on a multi-year deal, so he will
I
be
might be
at
if
Audi.
that was me, I would be probably staying with Haas. Wouldn't you?
When he signed the contract, Sauber
We're shit.
were still in the early stages of the season, and it's the
Yeah.
Audi project. But then since he signed that deal, the Audi project has kind of taken a bit of a turn. But
Yeah.
I
I
think they
mean the
are
Audi
now on the
project.
right track. I think they're on the right track now. Now they've got Binotto in place, and who did they
Who's their
just get?
drivers? Okay.
They've only got one driver
Yeah.
confirmed, which is Hulkenberg. The other one
Okay.
is likely to be Bottas, which is actually a pretty strong lineup, to be fair.
Yeah.
Um, and they just signed Jonathan Wheatley from Red Bull as their team principal. So
Oh
they've
really?
now
Jonathan Wheatley's gone there.
yes he's
I
now
didn't
he's
realize that.
going there at the end of the year. He's their
Okay.
performance sporting
So hang
director.
on. There is a big mass exodus at Red Bull.
Well, we've got Newey, you've got Jonathan Wheatley. There was a
There was
couple of other
someone
people
else I
on as
heard.
well.
Some technical, some race director or something. Can't remember who it was.
Mm.
Anyway, someone will be able to fill us in with that. But yeah, it seems like there's a big exodus at Red Bull of big names.
Yeah, it's not quite an exodus yet, I don't think. If they lose Pierre Vache,
Sorry,
then
of
they're
big
in.
names.
If they lose Pierre Vache, I think they're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I think if he goes, they're in big trouble. But equally, I think part of the problem with the car at the moment is probably at Vache's door, because apparently Adrian Newey was concerned about the direction the car was going in, and Vache said, "No, this is the direction we're going in." And now Newey's like, I told you.
Yeah. But also knew he's there not to fit now, not there to fix it because he's already left.
I think he's still there, but he's not on the F1 side anymore. He's just doing the hypercar stuff.
Yeah. So
But
is and Newey's gone to
he's not gone anywhere yet. It's not been announced. I
rumored.
don't.
He's
He can't.
looking
He can't announce anything until September.
okay, but he's
But
looking in Oxfordshire.
it looks like it's Aston Martin, which is just makes me sick into my mouth a little bit.
Oh, you
Uh,
mean okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. Why does that make you sick into the mouth? Apart from Stroll
because I
being Stroll.
cannot stand Lawrence Stroll, like a lot of
Right.
people.
Yeah, but like a lot of people, you can't stand what's his name from Red Bull either, but helmet
Well, yeah,
Marco. And you
yeah,
can't
or Christian
stand
Horner,
Christian
or
Horner.
anyone from that
Yeah.
organization.
So, that I yeah, get over it on that one. Don't I think
I
actually
just don't.
to be honest, the Aston Martin, I'm not too fussed about him going to Aston Martin. I think that's actually quite a good look.
I
You
just
know,
don't want Lance Stroll to ever be a race winner. I
I
don't think he
just want
deserves
okay,
it.
don't hate me for this. I just want Lando and Piastri to go over to Aston Martin because
Why
then
would
I
they do
can
that?
wear because I don't want to wear a fucking orange t-shirt anymore. I look good in green. I will look good in green.
So
I will
get a
move to
Fernando
green.
Alonso one.
I'm not gonna get a fucking Fernando Alonso fucking one or a Stroll. Like I'm fucked either way. Like I, I know. Like I look good in green.
Okay,
I'd
so
be happy with green.
get a
To be fair, I might get a Carlos Sainz Williams one.
Heikki Kovalainen Caterham one then if you like green.
Okay, but that's before my time of knowing what Formula One was. So no, I'm gonna. No, I think I might have to get a Williams, Carlos Sainz one. Or Albon. I could even do Albon.
I do love
Yeah.
Sainz.
I
He's one of my
I
favourite
love Signs
drivers.
and I love Williams. So, I can wear that. I could even wear a Haas white one as well. The black of the Merc, I'm not too sure about. It always looks like a bit black and white is just a bit.
Mm. Anyway, back
But
to the
the
race.
fucking papaya.
Should we do driver of the
Yeah.
day, dick of the day, and then get out of here?
Yes. Yes.
Right. Driver of the day.
Um, I think I'm going to agree with you, Charlie Boy, because
Yeah, I went with Leclerc
and
on
Laura
Grid
was like,
Talk.
it has to be Lando. I was like, how can it be Lando? In my opinion, he still fucked up the start. He
Yeah.
still went from the first position
Yeah.
back. Okay, he made it back up
Yeah.
with a fucking easy pass.
By my own criteria, Lando Norris can only get driver of the day if everyone else made mistakes.
Yeah,
And he made a mistake, so he can't get. No matter how
yeah,
well he drove, he can't get driver of the day.
yeah,
So yeah, Leclerc makes sense. I will give a little bit of love to a few other people that did well though. I think I'd say Science I think did well. Who else I was gonna give some love
to
to?
be honest,
Um,
Hamilton,
yes, Hamilton did well. But yeah,
and
I'll stick with
Gasly,
Leclerc.
weirdly,
Yes,
somehow got him,
that's the one I was going to say. Gasly was the other one
yeah,
I was trying to remember. Did really well to get some points there for Alpine.
yeah.
So I will stick with Leclerc for
I
this.
mean, that would have been a nice little number of 2 points from Hollyoaks from turning up
Yeah,
after the drought that the Alpine have had recently. So,
yeah,
hopefully that team has some stability and not a French fecking idiot in charge. And then they're getting rid of one of the fucking French pricks as a driver. So, who's going
yeah.
into that seat? Do we know?
Doing.
Oh yeah, Jack Doohan. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Jack Doohan's a fucking sound lad.
Jack Doohan, like in season 1 of Monkeyseat, I took the absolute piss out of Jack Doohan so much because he was crying in F3 because he kept getting taken out of
Oh
races,
yeah.
and it was
I
yeah,
remember that.
and I did say that I said on a grid talk short that I thought Jack Doohan would be in with a chance of an F1 seat in 2024, and that was back in 2022.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a year out.
Yeah. So it's fair play on him. We're 2 years out. It's 20. Oh, what year are we in? 24. Oh, I'm so confused. So yeah, there are some honorable mentions, but I think Charlie Boy in there. And Dick of the Day.
Mine's Logan Sargent for smashing up all those upgrades on the car.
Yeah, but that's not Dick of the Day, that's Dick of the Weekend.
I suppose,
Uh
yeah.
I don't really have anyone for Dick of the Day.
All right, I'm going to go
No
with
one.
the RB strategists for what they did to Sonoda's race then.
Yeah, I'll probably go with that one.
Or you go for Georgie Boy for wrecking a set of softs that were brand new, and then Hamilton was catching them on old softs in the same car.
Yeah,
You
but
go
he
with
never
Georgie
got
Boy.
overtaken. So, I don't think it wasn't a dick move. It was just
Yeah, but he let
dumb.
Perez past him.
Yeah, but you could also dick move of Oscar Piastri ruining a set of hards to try and get up to Charlie Boy and
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah,
So to be honest, this might be the first for me, but I don't think there were any dicks of the race.
well, no one crashed, did they?
I mean, no one crashed. No one pulled a dick move.
No one went
No
off
one was
track.
close, and you sat there just going, "Ooh." That looks
Lando for
nasty.
ruining the start again.
Yeah, that's pretty. No, he wasn't a dick. He wasn't being deliberately dickish. He was just being shit. That's not the dick. A dick is someone that's just deliberately being a dick. He wasn't
Yeah.
being a dick. And even Max was playing nicely as well.
Yeah.
You know, no
he
one.
just didn't have the car.
Yeah, I mean, no one. There was no screaming or shouting that I heard on any radio. So, you know, I'm out. I don't. I think probably the
So
dick of the day was actually the whole race because it was pretty dull.
so just Zandvoort or the Dutch.
Zandvoort. The Dutch.
The Dutch is our
No,
dick
I'm
of
not
the
going to
day.
go. I'm not going to go as racist as the Dutch, but
It's
definitely
not racism.
Zandvoort.
Okay, so Zandvoort is our dick of the day. Yep,
Yeah,
I can get on board with that. Right.
right. There we
Fantastic.
go.
Should we go?
Yes.
We'll be
Bye.
back next week, I'm sure. And cue outro music. Da, 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 da,
Yes.
da, 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 da. Sort that out in post.
Yeah, we fixed it
Right.
in post. We did. We
Yeah.
fixed in post. This is now fixed in post. And I stopped recording.